everyone! Today I'd like to talk about Wuthering Heights, a novel that feels at once passionate, bleak, and deeply unsettling. At first glance, it may seem like a love story, but the more you read, the more you realize it is something far stranger, a tale of obsession, longing, cruelty, and emotional ruin. The characters do not simply fall in love, they are driven to extremes by desire, pride, and loneliness. That intensity is exactly what makes the novel so unforgettable. It is not a comfortable book, but it is a powerful one, and that is why readers keep returning to it. At first, Wuthering Heights may look like a love story, because Heathcliff and Catherine's bond is so intense and unforgettable. But the novel is much stranger than a simple romance. Their relationship is not gentle or reassuring, it is fierce, painful, and often destructive. What begins as affection becomes obsession, pride, resentment, and something almost cursed. That unsettling quality is exactly what makes the novel so powerful. It does not give us a comforting picture of love. Instead, it shows how love can be tied to loneliness, hurt, and the need to possess. In that sense, Wuthering Heights is less a traditional love story than a dark exploration of human passion. Emily Bronte belonged to the remarkable Bronte sisters, who left a lasting mark on 19th century English literature. Along with Charlotte and Anne, she helped expand what the novel could do emotionally and psychologically. In particular, Emily's work stands apart for its intensity, its dark atmosphere, and its refusal to be polite or conventional. Wuthering Heights feels so unique because it comes from a literary world that was already rich, but pushes beyond the boundaries of its time. Emily Bronte's life was tragically short, and that brevity adds to the mystery surrounding her work. She lived much of her life in relative isolation, and that solitude seems to have shaped the intense inwardness of her writing. Unlike a novelist who writes to please society, Emily Bronte appears to have written from a very private and powerful inner world. That is one reason Wuthering Heights feels so singular. Its emotions are raw, its landscape feels elemental, and its characters seem driven by forces deeper than ordinary social convention. Because her literary career was so brief, every page she left behind feels even more concentrated and unforgettable. The Yorkshire moors are essential to Wuthering Heights because they create the novel's wild, lonely atmosphere. The landscape feels harsh, open, and exposed, and that matches the emotional world of the story. Wuthering Heights is not a cozy home, it feels battered by wind and isolation, almost as if it has absorbed the same rough energy as the people inside it. The moors also give the novel a sense of freedom and danger at once. They are beautiful, but they are not gentle. That strange mix of grandeur and bleakness helps make Wuthering Heights feel so unforgettable. Thrushcross Grange stands in sharp contrast to Wuthering Heights. If Wuthering Heights feels wild, rough and storm-laden, Thrushcross Grange feels orderly, refined, and sheltered. It represents comfort, social polish, and domestic stability, but also a kind of restriction. This contrast is important because it shows two very different worlds in the novel, one shaped by raw passion and nature, the other by decorum and civilized manners. The tension between them helps define the emotional landscape of Wuthering Heights and deepens its sense of conflict. Heathcliff is one of the most mysterious figures in Wuthering Heights. He begins as an orphan and outsider, and that place of exclusion shapes everything he becomes. Later, he turns into an avenger, driven by pain, pride, and a deep sense of injury that never fully heals. Heathcliff can be seen both as a villain and as a wounded human being, and the power of Wuthering Heights lies in refusing to choose only one. He does terrible things, and the novel does not excuse them. At the same time, his cruelty is inseparable from the pain of being rejected, humiliated, and treated as an outsider from the beginning. That is why he feels so disturbing. He is not a simple monster, but a person whose suffering has curdled into vengeance. In Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte shows how injury can become fury, and how love, when twisted by deprivation and pride, can produce something tragic rather than beautiful. Catherine is one of the most compelling characters in Wuthering Heights because her love and pride are so deeply intertwined. She loves Heathcliff with an intensity that feels absolute, yet she is also conscious of class, status, and social ambition. That tension makes her emotionally powerful, but also painfully contradictory. She wants to follow her heart, yet she cannot entirely abandon the world of manners and rank. What makes Catherine fascinating is that she is never simple. She is passionate, proud, restless, and self-defiant, and Emily Bronte gives all of that to her without softening it. In Wuthering Heights, Catherine's love is real, but so is her pride, and the collision between the two is what drives so much of the novel's tragedy. The words "I am Heathcliff" are one of the most famous and disturbing declarations in Wuthering Heights. They suggest that Catherine does not see Heathcliff as merely someone she loves, but as part of her own identity. Their bond goes beyond ordinary romance. It is as if the boundary between self and other has begun to collapse. That is why the line feels so powerful, but also so unsettling. It expresses complete intimacy, yet it also hints at a love that cannot stay healthy or stable. In Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte turns that intensity into something unforgettable, showing how love can become total, consuming, and almost impossible to separate from the self. In Wuthering Heights, I think Heathcliff and Catherine should be read as a bond of overwhelming recognition, not simple romance. They love each other, but they also want each other, cling to each other, and cannot become stable as a pair. Their relationship feels like desire mixed with identity, pride, and ruin. The terrifying thing about Wuthering Heights is that Heathcliff and Catherine's love cannot simply be called romantic. It is too absolute, too possessive, and too destructive. Their bond does not bring comfort or heal. Instead, it seems to consume everything around it, including themselves. What begins as love grows into obsession, resentment, and a kind of spiritual curse. That is why the novel feels so unsettling. Emily Bronte does not present love as something gentle or pure. She shows how love can become entangled with pride, loneliness, and the need to possess another person completely. In Wuthering Heights, passion does not save people from suffering. It deepens suffering, and sometimes even creates it. That is what makes the novel so unforgettable, and so disturbing. In Wuthering Heights, Heathcliff becomes consumed by revenge because he has been deeply humiliated, abandoned, and denied love. His suffering does not fade, it hardens into a single purpose. The novel shows how pain, when left unresolved, can grow into a force that shapes an entire life. In Wuthering Heights, the hatred does not end with Heathcliff and Catherine. It spreads into the next generation, where children are pulled into old wounds they never created. That is what makes the novel so tragic. Revenge does not stay personal, but poisons an entire family line. Wuthering Heights uses a double narration through Lockwood and Nellie, and that structure is part of its charm. We never receive the story direct. Instead, we hear it through layered voices, each with their own limits, judgments, and biases. That makes the novel feel unstable in a very interesting way. We have to piece together the truth ourselves, which keeps us actively engaged as readers. Wuthering Heights, we cannot fully trust either Lockwood or Nellie because both tell the story with their own assumptions and blind spots. Lockwood is an outsider who misunderstands what he sees, while Nellie is more involved than she admits. That uncertainty is part of the novel's brilliance, since it forces us to question every voice and decide for ourselves what the truth might be. At its core, Wuthering Heights is a story about love, loss, loneliness, and revenge, all tangled together in a way that feels both tragic and unforgettable. Love in the novel is not gentle or still. It is tied to pride, social rank, and deep emotional isolation. Heathcliff and Catherine's bond is shaped as much by what society denies them as by what they feel for each other. At the same time, the novel shows how loneliness can harden into cruelty and how revenge can become a way of living when grief is never healed. What makes Wuthering Heights so powerful is that these forces are never separated. They feed into one another, creating a world where private pain becomes social destruction. What remains after reading Wuthering Heights is a deep unease, and I think that is part of why it is still a masterpiece. The novel does not resolve its emotions neatly or offer easy comfort. Instead, it leaves us with questions about love, cruelty, memory, and the damage people do to one another when they cannot heal. Even after the story ends, the atmosphere lingers, the remorse, the house, the restless spirits of its characters, and the sense that human feelings can become larger than life and more dangerous than reason. Wuthering Heights stays powerful because it is not simply a story we finish. It is a story that follows us afterward.